expect on the first day. Everybody's out there and really going about as hard as they can go. But football shape's a little different than weight room shape. And you can see there's a gap there that we have to close, and that's part of camp. But a lot of guys just doing a really good job with technique and fundamentals. We still have a ways to go, but overall execution on the first day was solid. The tempo of practice was solid. The tempo of our drills overall were solid, okay? I know you probably have questions about the two guys that had an issue. Those guys are definitely suspended until further notice, and when time's appropriate, I'll get that information to you. But in terms of them, that's the only question, or that's the only response I have to that. But aside from that, lots of good stuff going on today. I'm looking forward to answering your questions.
Anything by way of a timeline on decision-making for their status for the opener?
Like I just answered the question. So.
What's DJ Johnson's situation?
DJ Johnson, hopefully will be joining us pretty soon.
What does this do for Dante Manning, in particular, Davies, particularly Bassa, in terms of just opportunities for these guys where they may have been a little bit lower on the depth chart?
Well, the process always takes care of itself. We create a competition at every single position, and guys get turns. We always go 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. Everybody gets the same amount of reps. That being said, guys at certain positions like those guys have proven they can play football and do it at a high level. So they're going to get opportunities as well as other guys.
How did the new coaches acclimate themselves today, and anything that really impressed you?
They did well. They know the pace is scorching, but we know we're pretty thorough in the way we prepare for it, the way we orchestrate a walkthrough, so to speak, for them. Because they got to know we have different field spots. We rotate fields on every single drill. We work on 2 different fields, and sometimes on a day-to-day basis, we change that as well, from the flex itself to the one-on-ones to the 7-on-7 drills. So we want to keep guys on their toes. We want to make sure guys are moving, adjusting to sudden change, different parts of the field. So they did a really good job.
The first day of camp can kind of be compared, I feel like, to first day of school, jitters, excitement. How was the energy heading out onto the field this morning from the players?
It's been good for a long time. I mean, these guys, I can't recall a time where the energy wasn't good. It's always really, really high, and you want to make sure guys don't get on the ground. You want to make sure that we're following our practice protocol, right? We want to be really good with our hands, with our feet. We want to stay up, hat position, technique, and fundamentals. And even though you're not tackling, it's still full speed. And you want to practice full speed, but you just don't want to end up on the ground. So all in all, they handled it really well. As a team, we have to learn how to practice and stay up all the time. And the other part we want to really see during camp is we want to see these guys compete. We want to make sure that competition means something here. And by that, I mean competition is introduced in a positive way here. It's introduced in a manner where, I don't know if the word embrace, better yet, the word attack. We attack competition. We want to get better. The only way to get better and maximize your potential is to present that. You can't ask and talk about competition when it hits you right in the nose. You buckle and, out and take your ball home. Over here, it's always going to be encouraged and promoted as a very critical aspect of our program.
Mario, how would you describe Cam McCormick's journey back to getting on the field today?
Yeah, I tell you, he looked really good. It's very promising watching him run around out there. That tight end group in general, those guys are going to be in really, really good shape. Cam's journey in particular has been has been a roller coaster, right? But there's a lot of heart there. There's certainly a lot of logged reps, so a lot of football experience, a good football IQ, and a want to. He's gone through what he's gone through to be able to do it. And the time is here now. We feel very optimistic this is going to be a really good season for him. So let's take it day by day. Take it day by day, move forward, and hopefully we'll get a great season for Cam and for the Ducks.
He went through pre-game motions a little bit last year, like UCLA game a couple times in 19 late on too. But did he actually go through practice at all last year?
Some parts of practice. Some parts of practice, so it was determined that we had to do something else. Yep. And so far, even though he's been through a lot and some things are a little bit more extensive than others, he really has bounced back well. And it's the best he has looked in a long, long time. And the progression hasn't been slowed down. It hasn't been altered. He's on course to be playing good football for us.
Robbie Ashford obviously flashed during the spring game, game-winning points. Where is he as far as catching up, having played another sport and just trying to get in the mix here?
Sure. He's catching up. He certainly is. Robbie is a great athlete. He throws the ball really well. Obviously, he can run. He's getting down our playbook. Those 3 guys, it's when you split up reps like that, you hope that there's some type of separation early enough where some guy could get a few more. because you want to prepare a 2 the right way. It's obviously too early for that, but Robbie just takes a lot of pride in what he does. He's a competitor. We're going to throw the kitchen sink at him. We expect him to respond. We expect the competition to bring out the best in everybody, right? If it doesn't, we don't have the right guys. So we're going to bring it at him hard, and we expect him to respond really well.
Is there any to get out of the next 4 or 5 practices? What are the things that you want to get installed and get done?
Well, we like to have everything installed by practice 6 and maybe spill over into 7, right? And then be able to scrimmage, do our stuff, and then reinstall, tweak some things. And always, I would say, once you hit practice 4 and 5, you always dedicate 15, 16 minutes of a practice to something unique that you might see during the year as it relates to your opponents. You might see the air raid, you might see the odd front, you might see 4 down, all kinds of, crazy pressures and blitzes and all that. So, but before you get to the bulk of that or the really exotic stuff, you want to have your stuff installed. So, sorry to go along with, but by practice 6, we'd like to do that. You'd like to have it all done again before you hit your game weeks. You typically go not a full 2 weeks of game weeks, but 10 days out into our opponent. Until then, it's full throttle install, getting better and finding out what we're good at, what our identity is going to be going into the season.
Is there any circumstance that you could see going live with Robbie and Ty in particular, just because of their mobility and they haven't been hit in a collegiate setting yet?
We will not go live on our quarterbacks.
The offensive line, obviously, position special to you. What did you see out of those guys today?
Well, we're in spiders. So we, you'd like to answer that question more when we reach, I would say, when is that, Thursday? Thursday we'll put on the shells and we'll go at it. But I think what you see, just like the defensive line, it's a lot of pride in the way they work. They got to push each other to be really good. The challenges have got to be real. It's got to look a certain way on tape, right? If it's not explosive, if it's not max effort, strain, low pad level, hands inside, knocking people back, shedding blockers, and then knocking and striking and lifting guys, it's not right. So for the first day, from a communication standpoint, it went really well. We exchanged and shuffled a lot of guys in and out. We played guys at multiple positions. Looks like it was pretty solid. We'll watch on film. But overall, we expect a lot out of them as we do the D-line. So we're gonna be extra hard on those guys.
On Tuesday, Popo was saying he lost 20 pounds during a 2-week period because he was in quarantine. First off, just impressive that he's been able to get back. And what are you talking to with a guy like that when he's going through something like that?
If he lost it, he found it pretty quick. I didn't see it missing on him very much. He's 300 pounds plus. Popo's a powerful guy now, and he'll probably end up landing at the 305, 307 mark. And all these guys, for them, we tell them all the time, they're like a prize fighter, they're a heavyweight fighter. And every fighter has an optimal weight at which they play best at. And those big guys, 3 to 4 pounds, does make a difference. And I think he feels really strong again. He feels like he's in really good shape. He can really close on quarterbacks, close on ball carriers. Very resilient guy, Certainly, I don't know if you guys know his story. When he got here, we actually had a couple procedures to get him, physically ready to play. And every year he's gotten better and better and better, and we feel like he's on the cusp of having a big time year. But also he's got to know, and he does know. Or I'm going to personally push him as hard as humanly possible because he deserves that. And to me, that's the ultimate form of respect. Our team needs him to be a big time player, and he has those capabilities, and he's flashed it before. And we want to see it consistently, and we think he's good. He's done a great job, this offseason. We expect him to do a great job this year.
When's your first full padded practice?
Full padded, we'll be in shells on how these new rules work. So we got Wednesday we're in this, so Thursday we get to put on shells. We'll be in shells on Thursday, which you might as well be in full padded. We just don't go to the ground. Okay, so a lot of those rules, there's overlap there on not going to the ground as it is. But you'll see legitimate, it's live work, just nobody on the ground. So give you a nice Popo report then, see how he handles them double teams, right?
Guys behind him, when you're looking at the 0 and 1s in particular, they just haven't had a lot of opportunities just yet, or they're very young, they haven't been here that long. So how do you evaluate a guy like a Suave who's been here a little bit, but Keanu and Jason who haven't been here that long?
I can say today Suave had a great day. Not a good day, a great day. Got himself at 293 pounds. Always a lot of pride in the way he's worked, and he looked strong, he looked explosive, he was finishing drills, he was encouraging others. That just popped. Not even watching practice, I can tell you right now that thing popped. Obviously, Jason and Christian are 2 guys that are young guys with a lot of potential. we play in multiple fronts now. So a zero nose could very well be a 2 or a 2-eye. The backfield set can determine that, right? The back itself, the sniffer, an inline tight end. So those things change. So everyone has to have enough versatility to play the 0, 2, the 2-eye, and the 3. So when you, in terms of the true zero nose, you're looking at every single one of those guys can do it. They all got to be able to do it. So.
Coach, you had a lot of early enrollees in this freshman class. Now that you've gotten them from January all the way to here, how big do you think that's been for you as far as getting to the depth that you guys are shooting for?
It's, you wish you had it back then whenever I played. I mean, that's like, I'm not going to say the year. But anyways, you wish you had it back then just because, the benefits of it are incredible. And I get it. The winter conditioning program is awesome and going through spring practice. Then you got another phase of lifting, phase 2. In the meantime, they have a winter quarter. They have a spring quarter. When the freshmen get here, they already have all that underneath their belt. It's a massive opportunity for improvement, and you see it. Like today, Troy Franklin today, Dante Thornton today, they look like veterans. Now, I'm going to calm that down a little bit so we don't set them too hard. But they look like they know, and they look like they belong, and they're making a lot of plays. So now I can't encourage that enough, and you can't find enough opportunities for guys to get here early and start the process.
4 guys who weren't were the 4 edge players who just came in the summer. Have you set them in certain spots on the edge, whether it's Tillman, Buckner, McNeil, and Jonathan Flo, or are they going to be mixing in between Jack or Joker and Sam? And
those guys are going to be all over the place. We got to find out what their skill set and how it fits us best. Certainly Terrell, Brandon, Jabril, those guys, they're natural outside guys. Jabril has inside capabilities. He's done that before. And I know that John has played outside, but he's more suited to be an inside guy. Now, Buckner's advanced with his hands. I'm sure you guys watch all those crazy videos on, you got one of those things, right? Twitter, whatever that is. Right, so you watch him on there, he's just very advanced with his hands. You watch Terrell Tillman and Jabril McNeil, their length, their suddenness, their explosiveness. We expect those guys to help us not only on the edge, but on special teams. Those guys are going to be really good players. But those 3 edge for sure, John, situational edge inside.
When would you like to make a decision on where they fit during camp? Or is that week 6 of the season you find a spot?
Well, I like to listen to them. By that I mean, by what they do. Your actions, they speak so loudly that they'll take care of it. We feel that way. We feel the film always tells you what you need to know. And their best chance at contributing right now is by putting those 3 of those guys on the edge. One being versatile enough to go inside, and then John playing more inside. Now, a lot of things could happen. Camp is camp, practice is practice. There are injuries, and you must create versatility. If not, you're going to be wishing you did. God forbid something should happen.
When you talk about off-season workouts and players having that opportunity to get stronger, the Cattle Monster is back once again. What are you expecting from him this season?
To be about as perfect as he can be. He's again another guy, a lot of pride. To me, his work ethic is what really stands out. He just goes. He's built like a linebacker. He works out like a linebacker. Hopefully, he won't have to make a tackle like a linebacker. We could cover better for him. But the Cattle Monster is, he's got to understand clearly that Cam is in the mix in the competition, and that we have another couple guys that have come in here that are going to provide competition as well. We kick 2 spotted field goals, all like we do 2 spotted drills. So you're looking at multiple guys getting the exact same field goal opportunities, charted, everything from obviously accuracy to operational time, which is important. So all those things matter.
We're talking special teams. Who are some kick return, punt return candidates?
Well, Chris Hudson certainly has popped. Jalen Red has popped. Jalen has done it before. He was really impressive in the springtime. Jalen was. Obviously, Michael Pittman has done a really good job. Seven McGee looks good back there. Mikael Wright has done a lot. Mikael Wright actually was a good punt returner too in high school. He played so many downs last year we didn't wear him out and throw him in on kickoff returns and punt returns at the same time. So we feel like there's no shortage. It's just a matter of making it a competition. Whoever's the best at it, make sure they do it.
Could Mikael be back there like full time like he was in the past though?
And kickoff return and punt return.
Both? Could he do both?
Yeah. The only time he came out of kickoff return last year was when he was gassed.
Yeah.
Long drive. Extra point, come to the sideline, you got to go back on without a TV timeout. And if he was gassed, then we pulled him out. You know, in 19 he was a split time guy, right? So he had a lot of his wind was good, and so you saw a lot of explosive play. So we got to do two things: we got to get him in great shape, as well as find ways and opportunities to make sure that he's back there when the ball's kicked, because he changes the game. He does.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, practice one, guys. Thank you.